Well, Dust 2 ends 16-4, a dominant showing by Mousesports on their map pick. But here is Mirage, the second map of the series. This is forZe's specialist map. They've already got a win under their belt today. It was a 16-13 win, though. Their CT side was certainly lacking, and up against Mousesports, they can't let that happen.
Absolutely not. And if it does continue to happen, I think we're looking at a rather quick 2-0. Mousesports so far on Dust 2 looked absolutely perfect, pretty much. They had a full idea of what it's like. They were playing with an overview radar as to what positions forZe were having at any given time, because they just had the correct reads. They were able to pounce off of it immediately, and it felt like forZe were more or less just half a step behind the entire match.
Yeah. So we when we're talking about this, we're really talking about the run where they had that short control. The two players on the CT side from forZe went aggressive towards short. As soon as they see that, as soon as one player dies, instantly.
Yeah, halfway up long.
Yeah, halfway up long. They know that they can't get back in time. And I think Mousesports, if they can have that sort of level of intuition on Mirage as well, their T-side could be very solid.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be really curious to see, because we saw a very high tempo out of Mousesports and multiple rounds. Even if they just set up initially to do something very quickly, let's say smoke Xbox, have a player drop suicide, and just leave it at that. They don't necessarily need to push anything off of it, but they give the illusion of the fact that they're going to be running places all the time. Yeah. And sometimes they follow through on it as well, which, again, we saw in both of the Dust 2 matches that they would do B splits without smoking off CT spawn, just because they want to get the drop on CT players potentially. If you've initially set up for long control, you have one guy rotating back to CT spawn, he's completely done for if you just have two Ts swinging out wide from mid, that kind of thing. If they're able to do something similar on Mirage, whether it's through mid control or just contact plays on A, it could be really dicey for forZe, because as we saw, they had a bit of a shaky CT side on Mirage.
Yeah. Mirage are a team that can be quite deceptive with their utility usage, right? It can lure the opponents into a false sense of security. We see that happen quite a bit on Mirage, where the window smoke will be missed on purpose. And that will keep the AWPer hanging around this window position, looking for a kill. Meanwhile, they post their AWPer up in Palace. The smoke comes in, forces the AWPer back over towards jungle, and bam, free pick straight away. Just 3 smokes are needed. Yes, there's quite a bit of utility, but you've set up for that early pick, and that's something Mousesports can do very effectively. Absolutely,
and it really feels like that's kind of what Kerrigan brings to the table, right? Like these ways of thinking about the game that maybe not everyone has, just as an innate feeling of, which is really cool to see. And the fact that everybody seems to be on board. We saw it on Dust 2. Everybody's actually chipping in. Everybody's playing well individually. So if you have the tactical prowess of Kerrigan, everybody following tune on that, and you've got the individuals shining, then Mousesports become an extremely difficult team to beat. I mean, consider the fact, yes, we talked about it, we mentioned it multiple times. They did go out 2-3 in the major stages. They lost to Liquid in that final series. That was 2 extremely narrow losses. Like, we were talking overtimes, right? Yeah. They very easily could have knocked out Liquid out of the major. That's how good they've been. So, you really fancy Mousesports chances here, but it's not going to be an easy task going into Mirage.
No, definitely not. Mirage is one of the maps where we'll see forZe really challenge the Mousesports side, and this is the one they have to win to get it to that third. And the third is Inferno, but we'll go on to Mirage here to see if forZe can show us anything. It is going to be the CT position.
I do like the notion of Inferno as third, though.
Yeah. Certainly is a nice one, but Flit is going to go aggressive. That is great from Flit. 2 kills coming in. Face crack, able to pick off forZe, and it's Kerrigan who hits the deck. It's all on Rops, 1v5. He will get 1, but a clean pistol from forZe.
And the fact that Flit is able to get 2 off of that. Follow up from face crack as well. Just really nice pinch on mid there from forZe. You can tell Mousesports wanted to keep the tempo up as well. That's forZe denying it hard. They were struggling heavily to get CT rounds versus OpTic. If they can get off to a hot start here, that could be a lot of their problems just out of the way already. You can see the live odds, though. They're still going to be favoring pretty heavily on the side of Mousesports. Over 5 in odds for forZe as it stands right now.
There's going to be a force buy from Mousesports, though. A scout in the hands of forZe. Deagles in play for the rest of them. And we've seen them have success with the Deagles earlier on Dust 2. Such a scary prospect, and forZe starts it off well.
And C-Power trying to get aggressive and underpass after holding it off for a little bit.
Rops is pushed all the way through ramp as well, so he might be the surprising factor over towards that side of the map. Jerry is all fully committed towards Palace, so he's the only player here on the A-bomb side. If Rops can get close and get the pinch on him, then that's a big problem.
Absolutely. We'll see how long, actually, Crochet is going to be able to keep the attention of the players towards B. Rops. Is he going to walk into the angle? Oh, okay. Face crack just in the nick of time. Saves the bacon of Jerry, but not for too long. Kerrigan's been hitting some shots today.
How has this happened so many times? It's the Deagles from Mousesports that are just so successful. FaZe in a 1v3. All 3 players pretty low.
Yeah.
Kerrigan being the highest with 61. So this M4 can definitely pull it off, but he has to get into a great position. He's got a kit, but ChrisJ, he's walking right into it. ChrisJ's got the angle, and a headshot comes in. ChrisJ will get the win there for Mousesports, and it's going to be 1-1. Mousesports, they may lose the pistol, but they come back into it with pistols of their own and find success in the Deagles.
Not a whole lot you can do with, that kind of scenario. If ChrisJ's going to hit shots like that, then you're kind of screwed. There you see the double setup not panning out. Chris finding the correct timing to get out of that one.
It's pretty nuts. Like you always expect something to happen from Mousesports, but when it happens, it's still pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's so regular. That's the wild part.
What was that burning in the Molotov and the smoke shows? A big beam of light, quite distracting. But it'll be a window smoke coming in from forZe. He'll boost up on top, and it's going to be Almirza who bites the dust thanks to the Kerrigan's Mac 10. FaZe gets aggressive, but the trade is in from forZe. And this is something that forZe weren't able to do when they were up against the Deagles, is they didn't really have that instant trade potential.
Yeah. We saw in the replay with ChrisJ, there was, I guess, a chance for Almirza to potentially get some connections, but yeah, if you drop that one opportunity, Mousesports are not going to give you a whole lot of room to wiggle around with. That's what we're seeing now. Zivar is yet to be put into action with that scout. Ooh. There we go. Asking you shall receive. But still not enough really to give them a realistic chance of winning this out.
They're just looking for some kills. forZe has taken some damage and doesn't give away that there was a possibility that he was there.
I actually like the fact that he doesn't shoot back. Doesn't want to incentivize anything, any more spam through the smoke.
I'll take this one.
Yeah. Zipar still posted up. He's just looking to get one more tag in. Not going to be successful with it. At least he gets to hold on to the weapon. Yet again, he's been dropped a scout and also bought up a kit on his own. So similar scenario as we saw in the previous game. But his Mousesports getting off to that good start. And it's going to be a little while before we see weapons coming out of forZe, at least for one more round. So I was feeling hopeful for forZe off the fact that they won the pistol round. They had woes versus OpTic, not being able to really get a good footing in that CT half. And, well, my hopes were short-lived, I guess, in that sense.
Definitely were. Mousesports with Kerrigan at the helm, sprinting on through it will be 1 kill on the Mac 10. Flit able to answer back with the MP7. And forZe pulling the rotation back over towards A with 2 there. And I think that's definitely the right call at this point, as Mousesports, they seem to want to run up that connector and through the ramp. So the A-bomb site will be the pressuring place. And Almirza is going to get wiped out by woxic. The rest in C2 should make the same fate, as well as ChrisJ. Burns away Flit. It's Jerry and Zipar left alone.
Boost comes in, flash works out. Leg shot onto Chris, but he's still not going to be able to actually get down off of the tower. Jerry left to fend for himself, and he's going to fall to voxic. So Mousesports handle this, all things considered, very nicely. And there you see kind of the typical role that Kerrigan has in this team. Wants to sniff out whether there's a stack or not. Sacrifice themselves to the Mac 10. It's perfectly fine. It's all according to plan, really, for Mousesports. They get the information they need. They move up towards the A-bomb set as a result of it. And it's a pretty easy task for them to deal with the weakened defensive force.
Mid-take, or suggested mid-take from Mousesports. They throw the utility in, but instead they're going to stack most of their forces over towards B. They leave 1 player to hold for the aggression. That's forZe. But the rest of this B approach will be very slow, patient, and rely on contact as the Molotov is ready from woxic. It'll go in towards Almirza, who makes the right call. They hop up and take 2 kills. Kerrigan and woxic, they light up, and that's excellent for forZe.
It really is. Flit's also going to get the tag damage onto Chris. Closes him out as well, and Mousesports have gotten nowhere. And there are 3 men less for it.
Almirza is going back for more. 2 is not enough. He wants a little more than that. Brands realizes that's a tad overzealous.
They're also in a stage where they very much need to keep in mind their economy. We saw it so many times versus OpTic. They never really had the full buy coming in for themselves. They were always lacking utility. The more players they can stay alive with here, it's obviously going to go a long way in that department.
I'm starting to feel a little bit scared. Even though Mousesports are down 2 men, they're still fighting. And there's another kill from forZe. 28 seconds, still time to play with. The bomb can be recovered as ropz picks up one more. There's a player on the bench, one back towards short, and Jerry, he needs to kill here. It's not going to come through. ropz finds it and forZe pulls it off. 2v4, locked inside of the apartments, and forZe just throw it away.
I think that was a 2v5 even.
I think you're right. I think there was.
I think that was a 2v5 with all 5 force players on the V-bomb site. But it's exactly what you say. Like, you start to feel worried for them because they're continuously taking fights and they don't have a follow-up for it. They don't have 2 people taking fights at the same time. It's individuals taking it one by one in positions where they're not getting traded. And that can't happen. That was meant to be the round where you went off so easily. You get 3 easy kills to start off, barely taking any damage whatsoever. You can shore up your economy. You can get a full buy-in with all the utility, all the good stuff in for the next round, and potentially actually put Mousesports on a bit of a back foot. Instead, you do everything in your power to really mess it up.
That's hard to lose.
It is actually hard to lose, yeah. I mean, credit to ropz and forZe. Yeah. They do a marvelous job of actually bringing it back, but there's no way they should be given that many opportunities.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely give credit to Mousesports there for realizing we're not out of this just yet. This is a round we can still win.
Yeah. Oof. Well, that could be what breaks the straw that breaks the camel's back, really, for forZe. They've already been, I guess, less than impressive on their CT side so far today. And that was not exactly a confidence builder. All right, damage has been done onto forZe. It's equal numbers as well. They have made it onto the B-bomb site. Still need to deal with forZe here. He's made his position known.
Jerry, oh my god, that was just impossible for forZe, yeah. Well, this is the chance for forZe to rectify their mistake. And there it is. Zepower with a headshot onto chrisJ. It's ropz in a 1v3 clutch here. 3 players to find to give Mousesports their 5th and to stop forZe from finding any success here. ropz goes close. There's a close kill onto Zepower, looking for the second onto Jerry. He spams away and drops him to 11. 2 more players to find though. The time is ticking. They've got to try and drop ropz here. Another kill. It's a 1v1 for ropz, and he might just pull it off. facecrack says no though, and the defuse. He doesn't have time. ropz makes it happen. That is incredible. Again, another round where forZe looked like they might have won it, and Mousesports pull it out of the bag.
Oh man, that's heartbreaking. They fought back into it. It was looking so good. But repositioning from ropz in that situation is brilliant as well. You could tell that he's always aware of the fact that they do have one player posted up on catwalk that he constantly has to make sure he doesn't open up for.
Yeah.
Because if facecrack ever gets an inkling or just an inch of ropz's body in that situation, ropz is going to die 100%.
Pretty crazy that, again, it's kind of a similar scenario as Dust 2, where yeah, forZe are in these rounds, but just the small little bits that are costing them, and Mousesports find the wins off the back of those.
Yeah, they punish hard. Now we're actually seeing double ups on the T side.
Oh, battle here between chrisJ and Zepower. Well, Zepower had the angle, and chrisJ was not ready for that.
All right, so yet again, advantage lies with forZe. We'll see how long it stays that way. facecrack. Oof. Gets out of dodge, and Jerry's going to follow up with a frag onto ropz.
Well, Carrigan moves his way through the smoke in towards lower wood with the bomb. He's got a teammate there as well, woxic. Going to be making the play as he drops Jerry. Flit drops inside of the site to try and assist his teammates, but at this point, Mousesports going for the bomb plant. facecrack peeks into the open. Well played from Carrigan to fake it through and take the kill onto facecrack. And there it is from forZe, defending his in-game leader as the bomb gets planted. It's the man advantage for Mousesports. Both players still locked in there towards ninja boxes though. On Flit, he's just waiting for the cross. Gap in the smoke for Almirza. He spots Carrigan and takes him away.
But Again, they don't have a defuse kit. They need to be pretty rapid about this.
Well, pretty rapid so far. Right over the top of froZe. Defuse coming through. It's not planted for woxic. He has to go for this. Knows the stairs player's there. And the defuse just keeps on coming. woxic going for it. Pulls him off the bomb. And Almazer goes for it. Will there be enough time? I think there's quite a few seconds left on this.
I think this time he just has enough time. No.
No.
Oh, man. When he got on the defuse for the first time, there was about 21 seconds left. He dropped it with 2 seconds left. Obviously, then gets the kill. Goes back on the defuse.
Another one of those rounds, though, that forZe, they can't win it. It's just a little small increment that doesn't go their way.
But again, they start off in such a good fashion, right? ZPower finds the first kill onto Chris J in B apps. Then there's a follow-up from Jerry eventually to kill Robs coming out of apps. And it still falls apart.
I mean, that's just credit to Mousesports as well, being able to engineer a way in which a round that they should lose goes their way. It's pretty crazy.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see how long forZe can, I guess,
keep this up.
Well, yeah, keep it close, because there's going to be a shift. Either they get deflated and they start losing rounds more dominantly, or they actually manage to get these small margins go in their favor.
That is quick from ZPower as well.
It really is. Yet again, forZe, you're looking at a man advantage, and honestly, throughout the Blast tournament in Moscow, throughout the major as well, they were doing an exceptional job of actually finding entries or opening kills on their T side. Well, actually on the CT side as well. Just in general, really good at finding advantages for themselves, but they're one of the least consistent teams when it comes to actually taking advantage of it.
Capitalizing on their openings, but yeah, that's definitely something that was accredited to ZPower, his ability to be a key that opens the doors for his team, but that is a great boost coming in. Almazer gets a double kill, froZe and woxic fall. This time it finally looks like forZe will have their first as Carrigan hits the deck, and it's 5 players still alive on forZe this time.
There we go. That was a really nice boost coming in from Almazer over on the B-bomb side. See, I had no idea that anyone on Mousesports was expecting that. And they've been on top of most things being thrown at them up to this point. And that's not something you actually see very often. It's like that kind of a boost, obviously for short, does leave you a little bit susceptible for B apps, but you have, I guess, the B apps set up for it as well with the boost on the forward pillar, really, to get that early contact potentially, which is not heavily used, but can still be very effective. This time ZPower is going to get the jump, but only gets a leg shot. The eventual mop-up, though, happens. Rops. 12 bullets left in a ZZ and a Dream. Jerry just really wants to move forward for this nice flash. I was a little bit worried that Jerry is actually going to push forward without anything at all, die horribly, and then again we see another round just go to waste. But a little bit more patience and restraint shown from forZe here.
Good stuff. It may have been a horrible experience for the first couple of rounds, but we have said how close they have been, and when they finally start winning some, this is where they can make a good half of it, really. Yeah,
again, looking at the money situation for Mousesports, if forZe were to pick this one up as well, we're at a stage where Mousesports, sure, they could potentially force buy into it, but that would be at the cost of all of their utility. So probably don't want to be in that scenario if you're Mouse. So we're looking very quickly at a 5-6 scoreline instead.
And the other positive factor we've talked about here that you can take for forZe is that the T side is the strong affair. Their CT side was hella weak on their last affair, but let's see if they can get it done. It will be 2 kills coming in. Fist, Crack, and ZPower finding the 2 openings. froZe eventually pulls it back, and Jerry's got the other on towards Robs. So froZe and woxic in a 2v4 clutch here. We've seen crazier rounds happen so far from Mousesports.
We have. That's the mad part about it. Smoke goes down for top connector. It's going to allow them to move a little bit forward. They might actually try to go for a catwalk plant here in this scenario.
Oh, it's not going to reach Flit though, but he's stuck in that position, which buys some time for Mousesports to get into better positions. And woxic taps the bomb. Realistically, could have gone for the full stick there.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they wanted to have the connector smoke down if they didn't want to go for an open plant, but default plant it is.
Oh my god.
Well done.
That is clean from woxic. He's going to go back towards Ram. ZPower's waiting for it. woxic, he's aware, and he's got the headshot. froZe's got a good position as well, but Almazer will take him away. It's on woxic. No way! And he will fall eventually. Oh my god, Mousesports nearly make it happen again. And I'm not going to say Mousesports, but it's WoxIc.
Yeah, in that scenario, it's just WoxIc from beginning to end. Really, that was quite something.
So clean.
Yeah, you could tell that Z-Power didn't want to give up the fact that he was nearby, but he didn't really have the guts to, I guess, just bring up the op and try to go for a quick scope in that scenario. He knew WoxIc was coming for him, but at least force stay alive. It's a bomb plant down, so it's going to be a reinvestment from Mousesports.
I'm still kind of in shock that came so close as well, because these rounds should be forZe's in the bag, but they need to make sure that they win them a little bit more cleanly. They've got a good chance to do so. Their buy is much better than that of Mousesports. It's going to be a fast play from Frozen in towards the B-bomb site. Amazur doesn't get a single kill, though. It's so fast from Mousesports. Flick will get one, but ChrisJ is on top of him already. And this is going to be a plant surely coming in, at least for Mousesports. And FizzCrack, he's going to be sitting over towards short. Needs to try and catch a player, right? ChrisJ was the prime target for that, but it's not coming in. Carrigan bits his teammate, but it's for a kill. And Z-Power will sit towards short, trying to get the connection, but it's not coming through. Jerry doing his best, has dropped WoxIc, but it's still a 2v2. The Molotov, it's not extended to Carrigan, and he's still winning there. Oh my god, that is just pure luck from Rops and Carrigan there as they get it done.
Oh man, and they're doing this so consistently as well. Look at the frag count, right? Mousesports are ahead by 3 rounds. They have less kills.
Yeah, they have less kills. That's mental. Pretty close though.
Yeah, no, it is pretty close, but there's a 3-round gap, which is not that close, all things considered. And this also puts the economy in the bin of force. Oh, man alive. Well, so it's a bit of a halfway save on the side of force. Mousesports, they get to basically do whatever they want.
Well, WoxIc has taken away the head of Amazur. Jerry will take away nothing, as Frozen has got rid of him. WoxIc and Carrigan dispatched with the rest. It's all on Z-Power in a 1v5. His chances of winning this are pretty much nothing, so he might as well save the kit and the Kevlar.
Yeah, well, he saves that. You guys at home can head over to GG.Bet.com. Protect your bet fast and easy with no queues, no business hours, and no rejections. Make a bet and insure it with the code SAVE in all capital letters.
And again, that is GG.Bet, the main sponsor of the GG.Bet Beijing Invitational. It does, of course, line up.
That it does, and right now, everything seems to be lining up for Mousesports. Well, I say that. I had to jinx WoxIc somehow, but 8 rounds for Mousesports so far, and this has been a crazy affair.
It really has, because you have to think, okay, is it 4 for Mousesports? How many of these could have went forZe's way?
4?
Yeah, so they could literally be the opposite.
Yeah. That's even without considering the fact that obviously that would have an impact on the economy of Mousesports as well. A lot of factors comes into play where forZe could have been looking at such a good CT side, especially considering the woes they've had on the defending side of Mirage for such a long time. Well, I say such a long time, but at least recent time. Mousesports are going to be really happy about where they find themselves, that's for sure. Carrigan right now, posted up in middle, all by his lonesome. Is he just going to walk through the smoke here? A little bit brazen, just considering it. Might just want some of the players in pit here to draw some attention before he actually pushes up.
Or not, just keep walking. That's
keep walking.
Definitely brazen, but maybe a little bit ill-advised as well. Utility going to come in towards the A bomb site. Rops met with fire, is forced back, and that might slow the approach. Great shot from FizzCrack, but the trade is from WoxIc.
The fact that he actually finds Frozen there, it's so big. Otherwise, it could have been a bit of an avalanche set off. Oh, Chris, a little bit slow to react. Had to do a double take.
So, win. What's happening?
So what is he doing in window? It's Z-Power, luckily for forZe staying alive. We've seen WoxIc in this very position before, though, and he's done a lot with it. Z-Power, though, has gone on a bit of a adventure. Ran into Chris in top mid, now ran into Chris in B apps. So there's no opportunity to sell a fake here for Mousesports. They just have to commit with what they have towards A. And Jerry's just been posted up behind Firebox for such a long time. He's waiting for the right opportunity.
Well, there's a big gap to play with, and it's almost too tantalizing not to use. This flick goes right through it, denies the bomb plant, and Rops will get one back, but Jerry ends it all. So 8-5, forZe find themselves another. And taking a look at the cash that Mousesports have, it's good on everyone apart from Carrigan.
Yeah, Carrigan's not, I guess, afraid of having to pick up a Mac-10 and running in first somewhere. So this is definitely going to be an investment on the side of Mouse. And it's kind of crazy because we saw how much of a struggle forZe had versus OpTic in their first Mirage game on their CT side.
Yeah.
Really struggling to, well, get 5 rounds. Here they've had a lot of things not going in their direction, and it feels like Mouse are escaping with a lot of crazy things, and they're still at 5.
Yeah, it's not a bad half already, right? Like, it could have been much worse, and also could have been much better. It's one of those strange games, right? It's difficult to call. And we expected Mirage to be a little bit different than Dust 2. Certainly is. I mean, it's already better for forZe, finding 5. But
see how long it continues. Mousesports, obviously, if they were to pick up this map, would secure themselves a spot in the playoffs. And given by the name of the Invitational, the main prize here is a spot at IEM Beijing.
Very excited to see an event in China that's got the best teams in the world. Obviously, we had IEM Shanghai, but the best teams were not there. Mousesports would be one of the teams wanted to get there alongside the likes of Astralis and Liquid, but kills coming in as Beardcrack, Rops and ChrisJ. Finding success here, though, on the Kriegs. It's on Albizer, left on his own, and he has got 1 kill off towards Frozen. 1v2, tries to play for Rops, but Rops has got him in the bike. So 9-5, Mousesports find another, and they'll be looking for double figures to end the half.
Yeah, awkward off angle from Rops there. All that was needed to deal with the Mauser. 9 rounds for Mousesports. And again, even if this is better for forZe, Mouse are probably feeling supremely confident about having 9 rounds and potentially getting to double figures. There's no really other way around about it.
Because they're not a team that has a weak CT side, right?
Yeah.
They're a team that will have a very solid CT side and maybe even stronger than their T side, which is definitely scary if you're forZe. And I'm sure forZe have gathered quite a few fans now that they've started to go to these LAN events and build up their success. And I'm sure if you're a forZe fan at this point, it's starting to feel pretty scary.
Yeah, it is a little bit worrisome. Robs waits out the smoke at the top of A ramp.
Oh, Carrigan's head. Did it blend in with the wall? I think ZPAR sees it. There we go. There we go. Carrigan not ready for that. I don't know why.
You know, he's focused on I think the backside of B apps. Robs, though, is going to equalize. Cherry with the 5-7. Prime to get 1 at the very least. Doesn't know there's 1 more. Fakes out the ladder, goes back for another one. That's a great job from Jerry.
Yeah, very interesting position to hold for Carrigan if you want to look at apps, though.
Yeah, it's not a typical one. I guess simply just not expecting anyone from the side of forZe to be as brazen enough to really walk that far up. Now, Chris left alone versus 4 and get spotted out. So forZe, they do manage to salvage 6 rounds here in what was a very, very weird first half. forZe definitely could have been in a situation where they could have gotten double figures on their CT side. A lot of, well, iffy situations, a couple of horrible misplays as well. It's par for the course. And again, Mousesports being able to deal well with it. Got to give credit to the individuals on their side, really, to salvage a lot of these situations where they're given opportunities. The odds coming in from GG.Bet as well. 1.06 in favor of Mousesports. forZe all the way up in the 8s.
A lot of utility into this pistol from forZe, straight towards middle. 2 smokes go. His window and short smoked off, but it's going to be an A hit for the rest of the players. Perhaps trying to keep a few players over towards mid and weaken this A defense, but ZPAR doesn't care about Woxic. He'll take him away. ChrisJ connecting 1 of the USP, and Rops back at CT. He's had chances, he's just not landed anything just yet.
ZPAR with that P250 didn't work so far.
Carrigan, there's such a missed opportunity there.
He knows it as well. Right now there's a fair few missed opportunities from the Mousesports players. Frozen left alone. 1v3. Does pick up a defuse kit, but also catches a flash to the face, and that's all Mauser needs to move forward.
So both pistols found by forZe so far in Mirage. I believe that was the opposite on Dust 2. So
yeah,
Good stuff from forZe. This is the problem, though. The follow-up.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't exactly capitalize on the fact that they won pistol in the first one. We'll see if they have figured out a plan to deal with it better this time around. It's SMG heavy, but they also have the 2 SGs on Jerry and Z-Power. Double scout, voxic, ChrisJ. We know that ChrisJ can be quite the master with this weapon. And again, all kinds of tag damage that you can do is going to be so influential to later on we get into the rounds. There's one part of tag damage, and there's the second.
Yeah, ChrisJ landing a beautiful shot there on the scout. Z-Power able to find a kill back, though, onto voxic, and that was the problem for them. They weren't able to trade. So, oh my god, that is unbelievable from ChrisJ.
So good with that scout.
Yeah, I remember seeing some incredible scout plays in the past from ChrisJ, and the nickname he was given was like Scout J or something. You know, there's original guys in Twitch chat, but
yeah, the Flying Dutchman as well when
that was better.
When he can jump with the scout and everything.
Yeah. Such a sick player with that weapon. Rops with the Deagle coming towards him though. Flit will be able to drop him on the Mac 10. And usually, forZe are good at these rounds, right?
Yeah.
Usually we're used to seeing them just fly around the map with a Mac 10, taking jumping headshots. And luckily they do find the win here. It's 9-8. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Again though, still waiting Mousesports' first buy into the second half. So most likely going to be seeing forZe equalizing the score. Z-Power yet again at the top of the scoreboard. He's going to stay on that SG for now. Obviously building up as much money as possible. I feel like the second we see some drops or some guns needing to be relocated and shifted out and about, he's going to go to that op immediately.
Jerry playing contact through the ramp. He starts to run straight through. It's frozen though with the first headshot. What is that smoke for jungle? Definitely not landing in the right position.
Yeah, it's not the one. Guessing it's not the person who was meant to throw it, who was asked to. It's like, guys, I only know stair smoke.
Yeah, that is rough. It's always that one guy matchmaking though.
Yeah. I was like, do you know the smoke for jungle? I was like, I think I know it, which always really means no. Robs is still gone undetected here, though, so the second a bomb plant is attempted.
Oh, here we go. Dink comes in, there's the kill. Denies the bomb plant, the rest of the Mousesports side overwhelmed the site. And Rops has got another. It's a Krieg in his hands and face crack. He's only got one bullet in the Mac 10. He has to switch to the Glock and he's got the kill on voxic. Looking for the follow-up, but it's Rops who walks away with it. And forZe, they may find the follow-up to the pistol, but it's the full eco they cannot defeat.
Man. Initially, you think to yourself, like, okay, if anything's going to happen here, it's going to be off of the back of the Zeus on Rops that he swings around into apps, finds the weapon, creates all kinds of havoc. Instead, it's the USP. I was a little bit weird for him right here, the fact that he decides to dive out, but he has 2 players joining him in that crossfire that allows him to get the space to drop down. 3K for Rops and Mousesports still around away. Yet again, it feels like that's been the theme of the game. Now then, we do have the op on Z-Power, but only 2 rifles. Jerry Almazer with the Deagles, and Jerry's about to get a rude awakening.
Yeah, frozen. Takes away Jerry. Face crack, though. Answers right back, and we have kills galore across the board.
5 frags within the span of 2 seconds.
Yeah. Mousesports come out on top, though. And it will be the man advantage to play with. And, well, forZe have left the bomb, so hopefully it has to go back and get that. Z-Power continues his approach up towards short alone, though, clearing ladder room. ChrisJ gets aggressive in towards apartments, gathering information as he goes.
Oh, voxic just looking away at the wrong time. That's going to allow for Flit to move past.
Oh,
well,
no.
almost.
It looked like for a second he didn't quite get the kill.
Spoke too soon, but Z-Power, you're now trapped in window room. At least you have the bomb. But his options right now is very limited.
Well, Z-Power is alone in this 1v3. He's definitely a player with a caliber that can pull us off, but Carrington's heard those footsteps. He should know there's a possibility. He's ready for it. Now that's Z-Power hitting the deck. So 11-8, Mousesports starting to build up quite a bit of success here on their CT side. It should be 12-8 here. And that will put the 4 away from taking the series 2-0.
Yeah. And again, weird series overall, but there was no doubt that Mousesports were the better team after Dust 2 and now on Mirage, they're starting to give us a similar feeling. Again, it's just being so good at punishing whatever mistake forZe is offering up. Well, still going to commit to this through the Molotov. That's a lot of initial damage, and the follow-up is going to make it all the worse.
2 HE grenade kills from 2 different people, so great utility usage from Mousesports. They'll put Elmazer and Z-Power into an unwinnable position realistically here. We see Mousesports win a 2v5 exactly like this, but forZe haven't got the rifles.
Yeah. And they haven't really had the same kind of fortune as Mousesports have had so far. It doesn't seem like Mousesports are willing to make the same kind of mistakes as forZe did as well. So now, just going through the motions as we're looking for Mousesports to make it to 12 rounds. To make that worse, forZe doesn't really have any money to spend coming in the following round. Z-Power will find at least one consolation prize and a frag onto Rops, but quickly returned. Mousesports looking like they might have carved out the road to success here.
Yeah, because, again, this should be a free one for Mousesports. The money's not good for forZe. It's going to be an eco, maybe a couple of upgraded pistols that could pick off 1 or 2 players. But realistically, we're looking at 4 in a row here for Mousesports. We're looking at a 13-8 scoreline. And that's only 3 away for victory. With the way Mousesports are playing, it's hard to see a way in which they don't get those last 3 at some point.
Well, still room and improvement to be made for forZe at the time being. Not going to be able to punish OpTic for his brazen peek up mid. Instead, he's going to find the first frag regardless from a new position.
He's got another as well.
Eco slaughter. Underway, Elma's just been able to pick up Deagle. Not going to find a kill though. Mousesports swimmingly getting to 13 rounds. Chris is sitting at 10k plus right now. That's a pretty good feeling to have as a CT side.
Especially, especially since the second half, realistically, has only just begun, right? And you've got that much money in the bank as a CT player. You'll be very, very happy about this Mousesports. You can actually play a little bit more free at this point. You could force the Ts to use up all the utility straight away by just going aggressive. You're going to have to use a lot of flash buyings that they might want to use later in the round. And, well, Mousesports going to be pushing all the way towards top middle. FaZeCrack is waiting now. He's got the kill on the OpTic, who has got aggressive quite a few times now.
He's just testing his limits. We saw versus Epsilon, or X-Epsilon. Mousesports, well, they have a lead and feeling confident about themselves. Ooh, okay, then.
Do that.
Yeah, they get aggressive, and they won't stop until they're punished for it. And, well, if you want to talk about punishments, that was a pretty brutal one from forZe. Mop up that round pretty quickly without even fully getting control over mid before everyone's dead.
Yeah, and that drains quite a bit of the finances across the board for Mousesports. So.
Yeah, they actually go back into double up setup as well. Ooh, off the back of it.
Scary stuff, though. OpTic and Chris J.
Yeah, quite the tandem.
We talked about wanting to see this earlier. Well, we're getting rewarded with it. We actually seen it on the T side as well a bit.
Yeah, that's true. Well, immediate boost into ladder room. And Chris is now going to get into position, see if he actually moves forward, or if he's just going to hold off the angles.
The full blind of FaZeCrack as well, so he doesn't know what's going on towards short. But Jerry, good play through Palace, catches OpTic off guard. Z-Power with a kill as well. And both the ops, are gone already. Jerry's going to find Frozen, and this has to be a safe call. Even though they've got money in the bank, winning this realistically should be impossible.
Yeah. It has to be force players offering themselves up.
Well, they've done that before.
Yeah, I think that's why Mousesports are kind of hanging around. You see 2 people actively peeking. Jerry's moving forward as well. They haven't planted the bomb yet. Keep that in mind.
Finally.
We go.
No way this is happening. There we go. Rob's given 2 kills. It's not like forZe have an expendable economy. You know, it's not like their money is in a great position.
No, it's very true. But, well, I guess live or die by the YOLO. They do manage to fish up the op from Z-Power as well, though. So, again, not losing more than 2 players is still doable for them.
They probably know that, if we are going to find a comeback here, we're going to have to try and damage that economy of Mousesports.
Yeah, they have to whittle it down.
And they've done that pretty well.
So. Absolutely. So, I kind of doubt we're going to see Mousesports go back to a double up setup for the rest of the CTE half.
Yeah, I've read quite a few interviews about the double up setup with Carrigan in particular, and he definitely says that the only reason we should ever pull out a double up setup on the CT side if things are going completely wrong and nothing's working and we have nothing left in the bank. So we'll probably not see that until forZe are just winning round after round after round.
Yeah, for now though, it seems like GG.Bet are still heavily favoring Mousesports against 3-round buffer to their name. They can pretty much take all the ecos they want, or a couple of force buys in there as well if that's what they choose. Pretty heavily in favor. forZe need to continue on this merry path. One of the things that was good to see with that round is obviously something similar they found success with versus OpTic. Jerry and Apps being a constant nuisance with that SG. He picks up 2 frags in that round, obviously finds the perfect timing to deal with Voxic, and then the follow-up on the mouse players by Stairs. If they can find some sort of similar, I guess, success rate as they had versus OpTic with that, then you're looking at a forZe team that could very well get actually back into this.
It's never really by the scoreline. If you did have a scoreboard, you would say that they very much felt like they were in it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because we've always talked about these close rounds and how they've been so close to winning them. They just never really did. And obviously the scoreline would start to suggest that they haven't been in it when they certainly have on both sides.
Yeah. Again, I'm pretty sure if we would tally up the kills in total for both sides here, it's going to be pretty damn close. And again, we actually do get to see that double up. That's a lot of money being shifted around really to make this happen. So massive investment on the side of Mousesports. This needs to pan out. Otherwise, forZe can jump right back into this. Mid control given up completely for forZe to play with. And a heavy lean over towards that A-bomb side. It kind of works as well because you have Voxic posted up aggressively towards BFs with the op. That's a nice start.
A super nice start from ChrisJ. 2 kills coming in. Face Crack and Z-Power able to answer back, but froZe's in with a double. It's all on Z-Power, and froZe's got him as well. 3 kills come his way, and it's 14-10 for Mousesports. Great stuff from just ChrisJ and froZe, really.
Yeah, that was all you needed, apparently. 2 great openings from ChrisJ and froZe being able to make sure that nothing gets out of control because there is 2 quick trades from forZe there. Super well done. And all that closer to a playoff spot for Mousesports. Said it, they should be regarded as the favorites considering form and basically, well, lineup going into this, and they're showcasing themselves worthy of that tag. Jerry slowly meandering forward in underpass. Nobody really else from forZe over towards that middle area. It's going to be an A-take. Pretty standard one at that. Jerry's going to be the late lurk. We need forZe to actually get up and about and find some kills here.
Oh, nice kill from Rops coming in though. As Face Crack will meet the bullets. It is a 4v4. Flickless by towards CT ticket box. Has got himself an AK-47 waiting for this extensive kill, but
I know there's someone
coming
there.
around the corner. He's just not going for this. He's waiting on his teammate, and eventually he'll peek, and Almeza will catch him. froZe takes 1 headshot on the Z-Power. Again, we're close. Again, we're back and forth as Voxic will get a kill. Almeza finds the answer again. So it's a 2v2 with the time ticking. Eventually, Almeza gets caught off by Carrigan. Jerry in a decent position to deal with a connector player, but he's still one more to find.
That super late swing from Carrigan around from short. Catches Almeza completely off guard. Jerry now is in a position where he can isolate both players. Defuse has been tapped. Oh, the timing is not doing any favors for Jerry there. He was so patient waiting for Carrigan to move forward, and you can see him stepping back and forth. But eventually he has to respect the fact that the bomb has been tapped. It's not planted in an ideal position for him to deal with it. And the second he swings out, that's when Carrigan pounces. 15 rounds for Mousesports. Well, we said it could be a 2-0 for Mousesports here, but this is very much a map that doesn't really reflect the scoreline we're looking at right now. This is something that forZe are going to be kicking themselves for if it were to end up with a Mousesports victory, but we'll see. Still some more CS to be played here. Galil's coming out for forZe, not a whole lot of utility. It's not going to be an easy task, and Voxic are already forward up in B-apps.
I love this entrance, the boost from his teammate to get up. Really nice stuff coming in, but WotZe is going to be in position. Surely he gets one. One kill here would be enough.
Yeah, there's no flashes here from either Almazer or Facecrack to force WotZe off an angle, and it has to be off of a double peek.
It has to be either baiting the shot from Almazer, like if he just sort of shoulder peeks and the Facecrack swings immediately. That's the only realistic possibility here, and it's not going to happen, it seems, as Almazer goes back in. There's the jump cross, he spots the info, he knows WotZe here, and there's the swing. WotZe doesn't take the bait, and that's the big play.
That is massive. Now, forZe, again, only have one smoke to their name. They don't have any flashes. That's the final smoke. They need to make something work off of this. Z-Power, okay. Up through connector, in towards jungle. So everybody's just kind of moving about here. You already have one player on the set of Mouse. That's chrsg. He's in T-spawn. Oh, that's a quick flick. Frozen goes down. Now the pincer towards that B bomb site starts.
Yeah, that's lightning fast from Z-Power, but Karrigan's made footsteps. Oh, Flit's rifle comes around the corner and Karrigan's ready for it. Flit will fall, Z-Power going in with a quick trade, and this is going to be the B hit that they've been looking for. WotZe picks off one, goes back, and Z-Power misses the shot. WotZe still alive, still kicking, and he's going to go back for more. There it is on the Z-Power. One player left, it's Jerry to try and save forZe here. And it will be a 2-0 victory for Mousesports as chrsg confirms. 16-10 on Mirage, and on that first map was a 16-4, so not bad for Mousesports.
Not bad at all, and again, they're showcasing great individual skill. Again, we saw it throughout the entirety of the series that they were on point, and again, solidly performed tactically as well. Nothing really to kind of harp on their end. Definitely more to look into on the side of forZe in terms of what kind of errors they can shore up and fix going into a potential rematch later on in the tournament. But yeah, Mousesports deserved that playoff spot, and they got it.
Yeah, Mousesports certainly looked a little bit rough. Sorry, should I say forZe looked a little bit rough on that CT side, but it was definitely a problem for them in that first map, and even in the second map against Mousesports on Mirage that they played today, definitely lacking on the CT side. A lot of mistakes coming through. Yeah,
a lot of mistakes that you don't necessarily see that often, especially not as glaring as we saw versus Mousesports here at the very end of it. That was uncharacteristic for forZe, but you kind of have to go that route as well, where you get the feeling of being punished heavily by a team that's of that caliber that the Mousesports are, because if you play with your food a little bit too much, then you're gonna miss out. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely, but we've had some incredible games today. It's Group A done and dusted for the meantime. We're going to take a short break of Group A, but tomorrow we start Group B. It's going to be the same schedule, the same format, 2 best-of-1s ending in a best-of-3 winners matchup. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. We've got some great games coming up.